month. These innocent bears need your help today.
Thousands of new foster families are needed in the UK to look after the record number of children in care.
A report by the Fostering Network says that although the number of fostering households has increased to more than 50,000 in the past year, at least 9,000 new families are needed to cope with the demand.
There are now nearly 62,000 children living with foster families in Britain, with thousands more coming in and out of care throughout the year.
Well, KJ Simmons went through the care system and the fostering system, and Jim Bond has fostered more than 80 children. Delighted to see you both. Jim, to you first. Why foster? It's a hard job, and you see these children often for a brief period of time and then you say goodbye to them. Why do it?
Well, I was a teacher and a youth worker for many years, and as a single man I'd had no children of my own, and I realised in my sort of late 40s that there was a bit of nurturing that I'd missed, and doing some of this, using some of my skills in a family setting. So, and knowing how I can work well with teenagers in particularly, I thought, well, I'll give it a whirl. You're quite right, it's very hard work, very challenging. It's certainly the best job I've ever done, and I find it incredibly rewarding. But it's emotionally draining, and you need a lot of tolerance, patience. You have to put up with a lot of professionals coming in and out, and you have to say your goodbyes. But interestingly enough, coming here today, I haven't heard from a young man for about 2.5, 3 years, and I've been trying to find him, but he's been a bit elusive. And on the train, I got a text from him this morning. I'm sorry I've been popping in and out of your life, but I've got things on my plate at the moment. I'd love to meet up. Now, those are the sorts of things that are very rewarding, because you know that I mean something to him, and obviously he means something to me.
KJ, what was your experiencing of fostering? How did it help you?
For me, at the beginning stages of when I went into foster care, it was a very difficult period for me. I unfortunately suffered some abuse from the first foster families that I went to. It wasn't until my later years, in my coming into my teens, 13, 14, that I actually moved to families that actually were really good and caring families, and who actually went beyond the status quo of doing what's recommended and going beyond that, which I think is so important. Young people need people who will go beyond what's just required of them. If not, then they're going to get stuck and lost and feel that these foster carers don't actually care about them. They only care about whether the financial gains that these foster carers are getting or whatever else. They're not going to actually think that they care about the young people. And it was only yesterday, actually, I was at an all-party parliamentary group for children in care, and this young boy, about 13, was telling everybody very eloquently, he was saying that he's been through 9 foster families, and every single one of them he had not felt that they actually cared about him. And in fact, 2 actually told him to his face that they don't care about him, they only want the money. And he was going on saying that obviously the training, anybody can be trained, it doesn't matter how much training someone has. What the key component is for a foster carer is that they must actually care and want to care for young people. If they don't, then it's just, they're not helping the young people. In fact, they're going to be a hindrance to young people. So I implore people who want to go into foster care to actually do it because they want to do it and they love to do it, such as the gentleman sitting next to me.
Jim, what difference has it made to your life? We've heard about the difference it's made to KJ's life, which has been enormous. It's changed his life. How has it affected your life?
Well, it's certainly made me older quicker, I think, to be honest. Because
but any children would do that,
indeed, but you see, many families will have teenagers for about 5 or 6 years. I've had them for almost 20 now. And so actually I've got to the stage where I'm pretty burnt out with it all, but I've enjoyed it. It's given me, for example, I've got several grandchildren, some of whom still cost me quite a bit of money. But it's given me a joy to see young people who come to live with me who have effectively at a Y junction. And I offer them options in terms of the future that they can pick from or choose to go down one way or another. And many make the right choice straight away, for whatever it is for them, and others it's some while later. But it's a great satisfaction of knowing that I've been able to achieve a change for somebody and to give what KJ was talking about, the need, which is so important, unconditional love. Going through some pretty hairy stuff at times.
That's the thing, I mean, you've admitted yourself that it's difficult. KJ said it's not for everybody. Some foster families, it hasn't worked out. So what would you say to somebody contemplating taking in a foster child?
It's absolutely vital you speak to foster carers about what this work is. It's absolutely vital you talk with social workers who are in the recruitment teams who will talk about the issues that you will face as a foster carer. Go on the pre-training course to find out. Talk with family and friends. Not all your family will be signed up to this. Certainly not all of my friends were. And it's about being really well informed about the real issues. Most of it's good, some of it's not, but you've got to be able to cope with the not.
KJ Simmons, I'm afraid we're going to have to leave it because we're out of time, but thank you both very much for coming in and talking to KJ and Jim. Thank you. That was Bolton & Co. If you missed any of the interviews, they're on the Sky News for iPad app already.
We're back tomorrow. Next up, it's Kate.
Sometimes your pay just won't stretch far enough. With Quick Quid, you can get